Hello and welcome to the Get Your Act Together podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Reynolds, and today I have a wonderful guest today with me. Her name is Kristina. Hi, Kristina.
Hey, Kelly. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm so excited for this interview and to chat with you today. Can you tell everyone where you're from and what you do?
Of course, I love that. I think it's one of my favorite topics. So I'm Kristina. I am the owner and CEO of Pierce Media. We're a digital marketing agency. We're located in upstate New York, but we work with clients all over the world.
All right. So we got a little New York, New Jersey thing going. I love
That's
it.
Right.
It's exciting because the last couple of months we have been doing a big dedication here at Reynolds OBM into learning more marketing because I am ops person all the way. And generally, like a lot of ops people, avoided marketing pretty much at all costs, long-term clients, referrals. And I just was like, okay, I need to get over it and start learning more intentionally about marketing. So we've been doing a lot of this, which is why I was so excited to talk to you today. What do you specialize in?
Okay. So at my agency, we specialize in paid ads. So paid ads on the different social platforms, Meta, Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and we also do Google ads and Bing. So Bing actually is a real big powerhouse too. It's kind of like, I call it the forgotten child, but it works really well depending on your targeting, who you're looking for and what your goals are. So that's what we specialize in, but I feel that we take it a step further. So you'll meet people who say, oh, I'm an ads manager. Well, there's a difference between being an ads manager and strategy, where we kind of feel that we're in the position of that we're digital strategists. So, we're the type that if you come to us and say, hey, I'm thinking that, I want to expand and run Facebook and Instagram ads. We don't say, oh, yay, great, let's get started. We say, okay, let's talk. Where are you? What have you done? What are your goals? Who's your demographic? What are your programs? Whatever you're selling, has it been validated? Have you sold it before? So we go through a process first to, one, make sure you're ready. And two, make sure that you know everything involved, because so many people think it's just, yeah, I want to run ads. So I go in and I do this and I enter an ad and it looks great. And no, it doesn't work that way. And all of a sudden, the cash register isn't ringing and the debt is going up and up and up. So our goal is to really become a strategic partner with our clients and guide them every step of the way, to where we also review the emails you're sending out. We review your funnel and landing pages to make sure that they sound right, they look right, they're doing what they need to do. So yeah, we do all the fun stuff.
So I love that you are also involved in like the emails and the funnels, and explain why that's important.
So one of the biggest things that I talk to a lot of people about is that when they'll say to me, well, my emails are good. Why do you want to read my emails? Well, because anything that goes along with, let's say, I'll give you an example. You want to sell a coaching program that's $497. I want to see the emails that you're sending to people about that. I want to see the page and review the page, because everything needs to sound the same. We call it the scent. It all has to have the same scent. So we want your emails to sound like you. We want the ad copy to sound like you. We want the landing page to sound like you, so that if somebody sees an ad, they click the ad, they go to the landing page, they're not like, whoa, wait, what is this? This isn't what I thought. This isn't even close to what I just saw. And then the same thing with the emails. Everything needs to sound like you or your business, so that people realize when they see it, they're like, oh, they get used to it. Like I'll tell people, I have a client that calls everybody, uses the word beautiful all the time. Hey, beautiful. Hey, this. So we put that in her ad copy. She has that in her emails. She has that on her landing page. So then when you read anything from her, you see it. When you hear her, because it's how she speaks, it all just floats together.
It sounds like her.
It does. And you have to have that, because, if your emails aren't good, if your landing page isn't good, if your ads aren't good, none of it works. It all has to work together. And that's what I think people forget, is they just think that that one thing is going to solve the issue or it's going to make something work. And it just doesn't work that way. They all have to work together as a team.
I love that because I'm sure you have seen lots of these, but I mean, I've even noticed these kind of things where the continuity is like, it seems like they bought one template from one place, another template from another place, and it doesn't have any cohesive value. And then when you look at somebody that's bigger, like an Amy Porterfield, you can hear the email in her voice because you know the voice, you know how she sounds, you know what it is, and it all makes sense. And then it sounds like it's from her. It totally makes sense to me.
Yeah, and it's exactly what it is. And especially where I see that many people fall off is the emails. And, I give them the same advice every time. I tell people, first of all, don't reinvent the wheel. You don't need to copy people, but don't reinvent the wheel. And if I have a client that's like, look, I thought my emails were good. Can you direct me? Can you give me something just to help me out? And I go old school. I'm old school to begin with. I've been in marketing for 25 plus years, so I am old school. And I tell them, look, I'm a big RB fan. I'm a big Russell Brunson fan. I think the man's amazing. I like him. And I tell people, go read .com Secrets. Look at Russell Brunson's soap opera series, Email. It's a great series and it works. It's proven to work time and time and time again. And I've seen it with everything from health coaches to course creators to med spa owners to chiropractors that use this soap opera series, and it works. And he gives it to you, which is amazing. But that's
amazing.
I'm
reading it right now, actually.
It is. I call it the Bible, or the marketing Bible in a way. He's got so much good information in there. And I don't get a plug. RB doesn't know me. I wish he did, but he doesn't. And I don't get a plug from him. But it's one of those books that truly is, if somebody ever says to me, can you recommend a marketing book or a book that I should read? And I tell them, read .com Secrets. It's just, it puts it all together for you. We at the agency, one of the things that I talk to people about the very first time they get on a discovery call with me is, what's your customer journey and what's your value ladder? And most of the time it's like deer in headlights. It's like, what? And I'm like, how do you take people through and where's your value ladder? So if you want to do a freebie and you bring them in at the bottom of the ladder, where do you want them to end up at the top of the ladder? Is it a 5K program? Is it a membership? What is it? And then what are the steps in between? And they're like, I never thought of that. And it's like, all right, we're going to make you a value ladder.
I love this. Yeah, I am kind of new to the Russell Brunson world, mostly out of denial, because I was like, I'm not doing funnels. I'm not doing launching. As an agency, we ran operations for businesses that had ongoing business, like affiliate marketing, things like that they needed invoicing. They didn't need launches. So I got to avoid a good amount of this all of these years. So now I'm like, okay, I'm deep diving. So I'm like cooking dinner with the .com Secrets. I've already gone through Expert Secrets, like just trying to learn so much from all of this. So I love that you just brought that up because I'm...
Yeah, it is. And I tell people too is that Russell Brunson is Russell Brunson. Yes, he has ClickFunnels. And some people are not ClickFunnels fans. That's not what they want to use, and that's okay. But Russell Brunson is an amazing entrepreneur, and he does have great insight. So, I'll get people that say, well, I don't like ClickFunnels. Okay, but it's Russell Brunson is still Russell Brunson. So,
it's just like
give it a whirl.
101 kind of stuff. It's really breaking things down.
It really is. And, when you hear his story and he talks about his story, it's genuine. It's not, there's a lot of great people out there. I'm a big Gary Vee fan. I like Gary Vee because he tells it like it is and says what he wants to say. But he does it in a way that, it's a lot, some of it's motivation, but it's kind of that basic business skills and reminding yourself of things, that things don't have to be, you don't have to look at things from, a million miles away. You can look at stuff from, 5 feet in front of you.
I am trying to push a lot of my friends and things like, okay, I know we're scared. I know we're scared of marketing, but if we're going to try to make intentional decisions about our businesses, we need to know how it works. Maybe we don't have to build the funnel itself, but I am doing a deep dive. I'm building a lot of things myself right now because I want to know how it all works. Will I always do it? Probably not. But right now, I want to know how it all works so that I can start going, okay, well, how do I create this? How does the value ladder work? How do I move people through this, this, and this? So so yes, I'm totally nerding out on this. It's overwhelming to learn so much at once, especially like this like deep dive. But I love it. So I love that you're telling me that
It is, and you're
that I'm in a good place.
It's the whole thing. Like I know how to build a funnel. I don't want to. That's not my area. That's not my area of genius. So I leave it to other people. And that's the other part, that with what you're talking about is that you do need to understand it. Like I always try to teach my clients some basics about ads. When I do a report for a client, I don't send them a spreadsheet report. I record a Loom and we go into their ad account, and that's how we report to them. We show them exactly what we're looking at, what the numbers are. So if they want to go in, they can, and they can understand things. But two, anybody can put numbers on paper. And if you don't know what's going on inside your business, it's not always a good thing.
Amen.
And that's what happens is that, I'll get people that'll say to me, I had somebody running ads and this, but, it's just not performing. And when I asked, and I'm like, you never looked? And I get it, but no matter what it is in your business, you need to know what's going on in your business, whether it's emails, whether it's ads, whether it's, creating a funnel, whether it's anything. You need to know what is going on in your business.
I can't even agree with you more. I am a big person about like, you don't have to do it, but kind of abdicating sections of your business and giving it to someone else to run, and then having no idea what happens there. That is when people run into trouble.
Absolutely.
And we all have our zone of genius, right? We all have the places that we like to be. I like to make SOPs, but I don't do it all the time. Like there's lots of things I don't want to do that I have to do because that's being a business owner. And I feel like that was marketing. So I've just decided that I'm going to like marketing, which is a lot for my brain to compute, but I'm doing it. Like I'm like, no, because it's like an adventure. Now I'm on some adventure of, okay, well, what else can I learn? And then the strategy behind it really is business strategy. It's not just what an ad is, but like, what are we going to create as an offer? How are we going to present it to the world? How, like, even for the podcast, who are we going to have on? That's a marketing strategy. Like, what kind of people are we going to engage with? So, yeah, everyone out there, you got to know what's going on in your business so you can make these decisions.
Exactly. And, it's kind of like one of the things that I had said one time to somebody was that, one, you can't do everything in your business perfectly. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. But I tell people, understand that little bit, but then farm it out. Find that person that is that genius in that area. I didn't start my business to do bookkeeping. That's my nemesis in my business. I don't like bookkeeping. I didn't want to be an accountant. It's nothing I wanted to do. But I have to understand it. One, because it's my revenue and my, profits. It's everything. So I need to understand it. But that's not why I started my business. So I found somebody who, guess what? That's what they do for a living. So I tell people, you didn't start, if it's a healthcare coach, you didn't start your coaching business to run Facebook ads. So don't. You do what you do best, and you let me do what I do best. And that's how it all, and especially in today's day and age, come on. It's like with you, OBMs are so important. And a lot of the times what I find is that you'll find someone that has an agency like mine where they're like, oh, I need to bring on another ads manager, or I need to bring on a VA, or I need to bring on this, when a lot of the times they need an OBM.
Yeah. They need someone to organize all of the troops.
Exactly.
Make sure the circus runs.
And then bring on, like a junior ads manager or somebody like that, and I went through it. I thought I needed a VA. Like there was no tomorrow. I kept saying, I got to hire a VA. I don't have a VA to this day. I don't need a VA. That's not what I need. I need an OBM. So it's just that, it's all of those things. Because there's things like, oh, I want to hire somebody, or I want to bring on a contractor for this. And I'm like, they're like, oh, do you have SOPs? And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I just know what I know. So it's exactly those things. It's just, no, I don't create SOPs. but I know how, and I know how to get all the information together so that I can have somebody else do it because it's not my favorite thing to do.
And it's like my favorite thing. Like when I'm really stressed out, you will find me making an SOP for something or like building something out. And now it's Airtable or ClickFunnels. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, oh, it's zen like to me, where everyone else wants to throw up at this thought of having to write an SOP.
Yeah, it is. And it's so funny because, like you said, when you're stressed, like SOPs are your go-to. And for me, if I get stressed in the business and during the day, I do audience research. That's when I'm out there like trying to find like what audiences and what interests somebody might be in that we can target for a client. And
I love
I end up down these rabbit holes, and it's so funny.
some
And I
like
have,
weird research. I love
yeah,
it.
and I've created these spreadsheets now, and it's actually one spreadsheet, but in it is different workbooks, and each workbook is done by different industries. Like if it's finance, if it's chiropractors, if it's med spas, if it's coaching, if it's high income, things like that. So I have it all there, and they're all done. It's like I'm such a nerd with it, but I love it.
I love it.
It's one of my favorite things. It totally is, because everybody thinks of the obvious. If you're a business coach and you want to target people, look at they come to mind: Amy Porterfield, Marie Forleo, Russell Brunson, Gary Vee. Come on. But what happens when you've only got those? Where do you go next? Where's those hidden little pockets of people that you want to touch? So, yeah.
I love the total nerd out there. That was awesome. Because like it's so great to kind of just lose yourself in the work for a little bit. And that is one of the reasons that we run very lean here, because I didn't want to just be some like CEO person that didn't do that. Like I love doing that. So I love it. So yes, thank you for being nerdy with me.
I love that you said that, because that's how I am. A lot of people think that, when I talk and I say we, in that I run the company, and thankfully, I've been very blessed that the agency is going on 4 years now, which
Nice.
if you'd have told me 5 years ago I would be doing this, I probably would have told you were crazy. But I am the person that I work in ads. I touch ads every day. I do audience research. I write some ad copy. I talk to the clients. I do every part of what's in there. I have my hands on, because one, how can we know what's going on? Because it's an ever evolving world. And two,
totally.
it's the way that it is. This is my name's on it. This is mine. So I need to know that things are being done, and done the reason why I started this, why I went out on my own. And it just is important. And you hear so many times that, places grow so big. And I was with a big agency prior, and it was that way. The owner hadn't touched ads in probably 4 years, if not more, and just didn't understand the struggles we would have, and didn't understand what was going on. And you can't have it that way, I don't think. But
I'm with you. I know a lot of people will preach to get out of the business completely, have someone else run it. Mm-hmm. That's not and everyone can do whatever they want with their business, right? That's the great thing. But I like knowing what's going on. Like I don't have to be the one to answer all the client emails. That's not what I'm saying. But like I like to know what's going on with my team. I like to be talking to them. I like to know, involved in things, just so I know in the business of what's going on.
absolutely.
And in the world, especially if I'm going to be, let's say, coaching or doing a VIP day and I'm offering some advice. If I'm so completely distanced from all of the happenings of the world and the business world, how am I supposed to give good advice? If I don't know what's in it, like how am I supposed to, say, okay, we should totally build out this process in Drive or Airtable or whatever. How are you supposed to know what the best things are if you're so far removed from things? So
yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it comes down to, is that, and it's not my way. And like you said, it's everybody has their own. And that's why it's so great that we're entrepreneurs and we can own our own businesses, because we design them how we want. But it's exactly that. If I was removed from it, I get a lot of questions now about chat AI, and how that's going. And hey, can I use it for this? Can I use it for that? So of course I've played with it, because I want to know how it works, and what that could mean for the future, especially for ads. And I'll give a little plug to it in a way. I like it. I think it's great for generating ideas. However, Please don't use it to write your ad copy. I did try because I wanted to see what it would come back with. I've never seen so many emojis inserted into ad copy. And just so you know, Meta's not big on a lot of emojis in ad copy. And that could be one reason that your ad gets rejected. So just watch your emojis.
All right, so I love this. I feel like I'm too old school for emojis, and people make fun of me all the time for it. I'm like, I don't know what emoji to pick, so I just don't. Feel very old these days. All right, so let's talk about ads, because I want to know all about ads, because we've been working toward ads, but like you said before, we're trying to figure out like who we're talking to and what that looks like first before throwing a bunch of money at things. So talk to me about ads. Like, where do you start? And how do you know when you're ready?
Those are probably two of my favorite things. So the biggest thing is knowing if you're ready. And really what it comes down to is you have to figure out what you want to run ads for. So a lot of people, if they're starting out, usually want to do list building, lead generation. They're looking to build that email list, get their email list built up, do some sort of lead gen to get some new leads coming in the door so that they can do something with them. That's usually the start, and that's a great starting point. Because one of the things you want to make sure of is if you are going to use ads to promote any type of product. And when I say product, I don't do e-com. I don't do a lot of e-com work, so I don't do the things where people have shops and are selling a bunch of different things like t-shirts and all that. I don't run e-com ads. They're just different. But, if you have a course, if you have a digital course, if you have, you're a coach, anything like that, if you have something that you're trying to sell with ads, you want to make sure it's validated. And when I ask people if they validated the offer, I always hear the same thing. Yeah, it's great. It's a great offer. It's a great price. I designed it. Okay, but have you sold any? No. All right. If you haven't sold it to at least one person, it's not validated. And what I tell people is put the offer out to your warm following. Those people that follow you on Facebook, they follow you on Instagram, that maybe are already on your list. Put it out there and get at least one or two people to buy it and get some feedback before you put money behind it. So a lot of the times what we'll start with is we start with that lead gen or list building, which is normally that freebie. It's usually a PDF download, a checklist, an ebook, maybe a free video training, something like that. And the goal is to bring in cold leads. And by cold these are people that don't know you, they don't know anything about you, they know they have a problem, and they're looking to get it solved. Once that comes in and they grab that lead from the ad, that's when that soap opera series comes in to where they're going to send them a series of 5 emails and they're going to pitch them something. Sometimes it's book a call. Sometimes it might be a $27 offer, a $97 offer. It's something. And they're going to start building that up. Then once you get that, then you look at, okay, let's do a launch and I'm going to pitch, I'm going to push people to a masterclass or a workshop. I'm going to get them on. I'm going to pitch them my, $1,000 program, and then we're going to do some other things. So it's really knowing to get started what you want to do like in the next 30 days, what you want to do in 60 days, 90 days, and then a year. And then we look at, that's where the strategy piece comes in of, okay, we can't start right out of the gate of bringing people in through a free lead magnet, like a ebook, and you pitching them a $1,000 offer in email. Doesn't usually work that way. Can it? Not saying it can't. I've seen the unicorns out there, but normally it's not. So you really have to know, where that's where that value ladder comes in. That's where that customer journey comes in. So that's the big part of it. I get people who come to me that are just starting out. They don't have a business manager set up. They don't have their account set up. We walk them through all of that and work with them on it because we want to make sure that everything is set up and meets or keeps on the meta side, keeps the meta gods happy so that they don't get angry and do anything. So we want to keep them happy. But then if you look at experienced people as well, we'll get people who maybe have been running their own ads or had somebody else doing it. They've had success. We still do a full audit before we do anything with them. We do a full audit. We go through everything that was done. We give them a report of here's things that we saw where there could have been improvements in campaigns. Here's things that worked really well that we can use again. And here's some new ideas of what we're going to do. So it's just really making sure that you're talking with the person that you want to work with. That's why I do a discovery call myself with anybody that wants to come on and work with us. And sometimes it's multiple. And sometimes my answer is, you are not ready. Here's a list of what you need to do to get ready. Do that and then come back and see me. So there's times that we tell people no. The other thing that I hear a lot of with people getting started is they're afraid to get started with ads because they think they need this huge budget.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't. You can work with any budget. But you need to understand the goals and the outcomes to understand the budget. You know, like I explain to people, they'll say, I want to grow my email list and I want to add 1,000 people to my email list in a month. Okay, that's doable. What's your budget? Oh, well, I want to spend $500. Okay, how much are your leads? I don't know. All right, well, the first thing we need to figure out is how much it's costing you to get a lead. Because if it's costing you $4 to get a lead and you want 1,000 leads, it's simple math. If you do 4 times 1,000, guess how much you have to spend that month to get 1,000 leads. So it's all simple math. And in the beginning, there's times we start out ads with a lot of clients. I do this sandbox testing we do to really find those interests and where people are that are interested in you. And we start those out at $5 a day because we really want to figure out that lead cost or, you know, that cost prior. And the same thing once we launch and you're looking at pitching a program or a course or whatever it is that you're going to pitch, that little bit, you know, something that costs a little bit more. We really want to figure out, and I tell people the first time is kind of like a research and kind of fact-finding mission. We really want to find out what it's going to cost us to acquire that person, that cost per acquisition. Because once we understand that, then we just reverse engineer it and say, okay, if you want to sell 10 programs this month, we know that you need to get 100 registrations to your workshop. Out of those, we know that we need to have so many leads. So we just reverse engineer it and figure out and say, okay, in order to make 10 sales, we need to bring in this many leads that then sign up for this free workshop. Then out of those, they show up. Out of the show up, this many book a call, and that's where you get your 10 sales. So you just have to know your numbers, and so many people don't. They don't know cost per lead. They don't know show up rates on things. They don't. Right down to that, some people don't even know their email open rates, which you just have to know your numbers. So getting started with ads, it is simple. To be honest, it truly is. Just don't take everyone's advice. Look at what you think works for you and talk to somebody. Like I said, I do free discovery calls, and a lot of the times it's just people picking my brain to ask some questions.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to, because my biggest peeve is when I see something on social media somewhere and it's Facebook ads don't work. Okay, they don't. Not all the time. But they do when they're done right. So, you know, if I can, there is. And it's just, you know, a simple thing that I tell a lot of people is this. Facebook ads won't change your business. Emails won't change your business. Posting on social media won't change your business. Those things won't change your business. There's only one thing that will make a change in your business, and it's sales. So you have to figure out how all of that works together to bring those sales in, because that's what changes your business. That's what affects your business. So you just have to, and that's why I say it's a team. You have to look at every bit of what you're putting out there and make them work together.
This is where I am. I don't have those numbers right now, right? Because I've had long-term clients, I've had referral clients, so I don't have cost per leads because I didn't have a lot of turnover. I didn't
Yeah.
have that kind of thing. So I'm in the muck of all of that. Like I don't have those numbers that you're saying,
But
right?
that's okay because you're not going to see, and that where the difference is that it's okay for people to not have those numbers. The first thing we want to do then is find out those numbers so that way you can make projections and you can plan for the goals that you want to meet. What happens is that a lot of people end up talking to somebody that says, well, you should be able to get $4 leads. And if you get $4 leads and you get this many leads and the average is a 10% conversion to sign up for a workshop, then you should be able to get this many people on your workshop. And then if there's a 8% conversion that show up for the workshop live, and then a 5% conversion that will buy, okay, those are great, I guess, standards things out there. Mm-hmm. They yep. change every day. But people are putting these ideas in business owners' heads to where I will get somebody that says, my budget is this much because my coach or my whoever, my friend or so-and-so that I listen to told me that I should be able to get $4 leads with this. And I'm like, but how do you know? You've never put that out there. So yeah. It's okay. It's great to not know your numbers. Just have an open mind to find out your numbers.
So, okay. So I'm using me as an example. So I don't know my numbers, right? Mm-hmm. How do I start learning those numbers? Is it playing with a $5 a day ad? Is it putting, is it more organic? Like, how do you start to get those kind of numbers? How do you start to learn them?
Well, you usually get them two different ways. So your organic number is going to be different than your paid number.
Makes sense.
So that's just going to be different all around. But if you have an idea of your sales cycle, I guess is how you would say, how it's the only way I know to describe it, your kind of sales cycle or your client acquisition cycle. If you know that on the organic side, you can normally take a look at it to look at the paid side. With the paid side, absolutely, a good way to do it is come up with something that is going to expose people to you that don't know you. Because normally when it comes to ads, people are looking for, okay, I know my warm network, which is your people that follow you on Facebook, follow you on Instagram, have visited your website, they're on your email list. Those are your warm people. They know you. They've been in your world at some touch point. With ads, most people want those cold people. They want to now open up the world and they want to start bringing in a bunch of newbies and new people to them. So the easiest way to do it is some sort of lead magnet. And what we do is that exactly, it's $5 a day. We target a bunch of different interests individually because we want to make sure that if, you're a health coach and we want to make sure that, hey, maybe Peloton works for you. Maybe Pilates works for you. Maybe yoga works for you. They may say, hey, organic food works for me, but we run the test and organic food doesn't work for them. So we really want to get a hold of a good solid base of interest that we know your people are in. That's what then gives us that kind of average cost per lead. And that way going forward, we know it. So that way it's, okay, we did this testing our testing runs usually about 48 hours. It's usually a total of about just shy of 3 days. So I always say 48 hours because it's not a full 3 days. And at the end of that, we can tell you audiences that didn't work for you, that did work for you and performed well, and maybe some that they worked, but the cost was a little higher than what we wanted to see. So we'll hold on to them for later. From there, we can then say to you, look we're seeing on average that your leads are coming in at $4.27. So let's go on average, because I like to be conservative. Let's go on average $4.50 a lead. So if we go by that, then I say to you, all right, what's your budget? And then that tells you that you might think you want to bring in 1,000 leads in a month, but if you don't have that budget, it's okay. Because then we know, though, the money we're going to spend. So whether it's $500 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever it is, we will know roughly within just a couple numbers how many leads that will bring you. So
Because at that point, it's just basic math.
It's just basic math. There's no trick to it. You know, it's funny because a lot of people focus on what we call the vanity metrics, which are like clicks and cost per click. You know, somebody will say to me, hey, my friend is getting 5-cent clicks. Okay. Clicks do nothing for you. That's not the action we want. Yes, you can get cheap clicks all day long. But one, what are those clicks doing for them? Probably nothing. You know, I don't focus on clicks or cost per click. I look at click-through rate, which means, so to give it an easy idea of how this looks, somebody's scrolling their Facebook feed and they're scrolling through and boom, the first thing that grabs them in an ad is usually the image. It's the creative, whether it's an image or a video. That's usually what we call stop the scroll. Then they read the headline underneath it, and the headline is what makes them go, oh, yeah, this is me, or yeah, I have that problem, or oh, what is this? Piques their interest to where they click and open the ad. That's the click. They read the ad, right? They read the ad and they might go, nope. So you just paid for a click that got you nothing. And you worried about a click number that was nothing. If they click the ad and go to your landing page, that's your click through.
This sounds interesting. I want to go check out more.
That's what we want to see. We want to see, okay, how many, we do sometimes look at how many clicks there were, but it's not our focus. But we look at the click-through rate, because let's say that 25 people clicked through to the landing page, but we find out that only 3 actually sign up for whatever the freebie is. That tells us, seeing that number tells us people like the ad, but something's not happening on that landing page to make them want to sign up. So is it the language? Does the landing page not sound like the ad copy? So it's how you figure out kind of where the problem is when you're not seeing performance.
Like where they stop in the thing. So they
Correct.
clicked on the ad to read more, but then they didn't click through. So that means maybe that, whatever. Like,
right.
You
and that's
where they fall off.
That's where we'll look at click number. We don't always take it into consideration, but where we will look at it is that if we're seeing that there's not a lot of click through, that people aren't clicking the ad to the landing page, but we see the clicks are high, then we look at it and say, okay, so they like the image or the video, they like the headline, but we're losing them in the ad copy it's not pushing them to want to click through.
That makes sense.
That's how you start diagnosing, okay, where do we need to improve and where don't we? The same thing with if you get somebody to land on a sales page for something and they land on the sales page, but they they go to the checkout, but they don't check out, what's missing? What's stopping them from making that checkout? They're adding to cart, but they're not checking out. Or what's stopping them from the sales page that's stopping them to not even add it to their cart? So those are the things we start to look at, and that's how you start diagnosing what's going on and truly where do we need to make the improvements. And when we do that, we only make a change on one thing at a time, because we want to know, you can change. Some people will go in there and be like, oh, well, I need to change my sales page or my landing page and I'll put a video on it. And then let's change the image in the ad and let's change this. No, we need to figure out where the needle needs to move. Whether
so you're changing everything. You don't know which one was the thing that was good or bad.
Exactly. And you'll get people, they panic and they'll either say, let's scrap this and start all over again.
Yeah.
Let's do it. They panic. And I get it. Trust me, especially when you're spending money. But that's where I tell people, don't come out of the gate unless you really know your numbers. Don't come out of the gate spending $25, $50, $100, $200 a day. Don't. You can always scale. But don't come out, I tell people, if you're not ready to take a little bit of a hit, don't come out of the gate blazing. It's easier to scale. Somebody said to me one time that I always get it wrong, so I probably will get it wrong this time because I always do, is that they said, oh, slow is steady and steady is fast.
Oh, I love that.
So I got it right. Woo! But I had somebody say that to me, and it was a client I was working with that had been running ads for a long time, and they had spent a lot of money, and I was getting discouraged because I wanted to get them to the next hump, and they picked it up, and that's what they said to me, and I went, if you think about it, it makes sense.
It does make sense, and I love it. That's amazing. I am like totally nerding out on all of this information because I'm learning all this stuff, and that was a wonderful explanation of like all of that, like where you fall off and why you're looking at things and why you should be ready. And I love it. And thank you. That was wonderful. So tell me, you were saying before you're kind of working all the different platforms, right? And I always forget that there's Pinterest ads for some reason because I don't have I'm not on Etsy, I feel like, so I'm not I'm not on Pinterest, but like a lot of my other friends tell me that is a huge source of revenue for them, or leads, I guess, from Pinterest, and I always forget about it. So can you kind of give me an overview? And you also mentioned Bing ads, which it didn't ever even occur to me they existed. So what is each platform best for?
It really depends on the business, what the business is, and who they're trying to reach. So, for instance, great example, how I thought about Bing ads is I had heard something about Bing ads, and I went, Bing is still around? Seriously? Right? And people are using it? So I was like, oh, so I started doing some research, and one, I wanted to look at their demographics that they're reporting, and then I talked to a couple people, reached out to some people I know, and I'm like, hey, what do you know about Bing ads? And, Bing is being used by the largest demographic using Bing are females 45 plus. So if you're looking to if your ideal client, your ideal avatar is females 45 plus, Bing is a good place to be. Should you just be on Bing? No. I am a firm believer that, one, you don't need to be on every platform, so don't feel you do. Two, don't rely on any one platform. Even if it's Meta, even if it's Facebook and Instagram, so many people have all their eggs in one basket. And I tell people, even if it's adding a little something, do not have everything on one. But also, you don't need to be on everything. So Bing is good for something like that. But it's also not a standalone. I would never do a standalone. What I like about Facebook and Instagram, about Meta, is it's a great testing ground. I tell anybody, like I'll have somebody say, I know I want to run Google ads. All right, let's flush out let's flush everything out on Facebook and Instagram first. Get your messaging down, get headlines down. Let's grab all the information we can so that when we do look at Google ads and we're looking at keywords and different things, we have more information and more knowledge to go by. It won't always work the same, but Facebook and Instagram is a great place to flush stuff out. And it's inexpensive. So if you are starting out and you don't have a big budget, Facebook and Instagram is a great place to start. From there, we look at, okay, what makes sense? Like you brought up Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I am a Pinterest junkie. No kidding. I think I look at Pinterest probably every day. I totally am a Pinterest junkie. I love to cook, so that's why I go there. But when I first heard about Pinterest and people using it, I was like, yeah, but it's great if you're like an influencer that's like trying to like make money off, hooking people up with Nordstrom deals or, and it's great for many things. But what I did is I was on Pinterest and I searched Facebook ads and I was like, whoa. And then I searched how to run Facebook ads, how to create a Facebook ad, and all these pins showed up and I'm like, no way. So then I started searching things that were like clients of mine, the industry they were in, the problems they solve, and you'd be shocked. People are using Pinterest for much more than planning a kid's birthday party or looking for the latest workout video or a recipe or a fashion trend. They're using it for much, much more. But also, depending on who your target audience is, those moms on there looking for the latest, greatest, best way to have a circus birthday party for my 5-year-old, those often are your target audience. They're on there searching for birthday party ideas, but that might be the mom who's having hormone issues and is suffering from exhaustion and needs some help with hormone balancing. So
Right.
that's
It's
that
not
can
what they're
be
looking for, but they are the people that need the help.
right. So, but you can target them so that if they
Yeah.
do search and they meet the other criteria. So there's a lot of ways. And what I like about Pinterest is I tell people it's cheap real estate. It's very inexpensive, but you have to understand how it works as well. It's not going to work like Facebook and Instagram ads are. But how I describe it is if you're on Facebook and Instagram and you want to add something without spending a lot more money, add Pinterest in. It's like the little sister that tags along. It's like, you're going here or you're going there and you've got that little sister that's like, can I go too? And they walk like 2 paces behind you and they just want to tag along. It's great, but it really opens up. And Pinterest is getting so much better at really expanding the platform. There's a Pinterest tag now, like the Facebook pixel that tracks people. There's a Pinterest tag, so you can use that now. So there really is. So it's really looking at the platforms. It's who you are, what your business is, who your ideal client is, and where they might be. One that I get asked about all the time is TikTok. I don't run TikTok ads. We don't run TikTok ads for people, not because I don't like it. I don't because I would say 99.999% of my clients, TikTok ads aren't ideal. TikTok is great for organic marketing. It's amazing for getting out there, for exposing people to you, from getting seen. So use it that way. But as far as sales, truly, if you're not selling some makeup latest thing or something with, fashion and beauty or something along those lines, TikTok probably isn't ideal for you because there's not very many people on TikTok that are going to click a TikTok ad and buy a $5,000 coaching program. So, I tell people, use it for organic all day long. Absolutely. So there's lots of things like that. People ask me about LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn are the most expensive ads going.
I was wondering. I feel like LinkedIn is this weird kind of, it's social media, but it's also like all the people we worked with in corporate, and everyone gets a little weird about it. I know I do. I know a lot of my coaching clients do. Like, I can't post there. People will see it. And I'm like, I know. And they're like, no. People I used to work with will see it. And it's very like, everyone freaks out a little bit on that.
It is. They are very expensive. It is the most expensive out there, hands down. I mean, it'll cost you a cost per sale, a cost per acquisition is going to run you $200 and up.
Wow.
A lot of people say, yeah, but it's a better thing. Okay, but there's a lot of work that has to go into it to get it. Yes, if you have a 10K, 15K, 20K, 30, 40, 50, 60K program that targets professionals, LinkedIn may be something to try. But if you don't, it probably isn't ideal. But use it to get your authority out there. Write articles and post articles because they're free. Get yourself out there as the authority. But unless your business is straightforward, 100% professionals or targeting people in higher roles in corporate America, LinkedIn probably isn't the ideal place to be. So it's, like I said, a lot of it with platforms is, one, don't think you need to be everywhere. And two, know who your people are that you want to reach. And then really figure out where they are to get the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you're like, there are places where organic is way better for this. And like TikTok, and maybe LinkedIn is like setting your authority. That's great. Because, like I've always kind of wondered what the difference is, if they were worth it. But there are places for everything.
Absolutely. Like, Twitter. Twitter is the place where, it's just the way it is, that Twitter is the place that if you're looking to target males, normally about 35 or 40 plus, Twitter's demographic swings more that way. So it's knowing that. I'm not saying that there's not, depending on what your business is, there's obviously, you can use Twitter if you're targeting females as well, but really knowing, and that's what, we try to watch and I watch it on a monthly basis, is the demographics on the different platforms, to know that if I see a big swing or what might be happening. Of course, we all know with Twitter, when Elon took over Twitter, nobody knew what was going to happen.
I think they still don't.
They still don't. And it's all
It's
over
a
the
big mess
place.
over there.
There is that. It's actually, since he's taken over, it's kind of skewed more females. And I don't know if it's they're fascinated with Elon Musk, which some people are. I don't know a whole lot about the man, but like, I love rockets.
Yeah, we were totally down with a lot of the stuff until he really started going off the wall.
Yeah, and he goes off the wall, but I love, that he, that SpaceX exists, and, that they're launching rockets left and right from, Port Canaveral down in Florida. And I think it's cool. But,
Totally cool.
Other than that, it is what it is. So I think that because of some things, you're seeing that. But yeah, it's where it is. YouTube ads used to be great. And then YouTube changed their targeting altogether. They changed completely how you target with YouTube ads. And it really put a big drop off to where it was like, and people still aren't really sure there. But again, that's something where you really want to look at and say, all right, does this make sense for me? But one thing I will tell you is that people that want YouTube, so I have a client who has a YouTube channel, and she's like, I want to grow my YouTube channel. So should I run YouTube ads? And we looked, and I said, here's what we can do. Facebook will let you link to YouTube. So we run ads for her. She sends me clips, little like fun clips out of like a YouTube video that she has.
Yeah.
We use that clip as the creative in her Facebook ad. We do a little blurb on it and say, watch more. They click the button and they go to her YouTube. We either send them to her channel. We have ones that go to her channel and the box pops up asking people to subscribe once they get there. Or we can send them directly to a video on her channel, which gets her views and gets her subscribers. Now, this is where we get tricky. This is when I love to nerd out. So you're like me, so you will get this.
I love this all. Okay, keep going.
Then what we do is we do a retargeting on Facebook and say, anybody who's landed on this URL, which can be the YouTube channel or the specific video URL, we retarget them on Facebook with ads.
I love this. This is so fun. See, I'm starting to like marketing. I love this because we have a YouTube channel now. I don't know how many people are watching it, but that's like this podcast. If you're watching, you might be watching that on YouTube right now. So I find this all fascinating and how it all works together.
And it does. And those are ways to be able to get, that's the creative thing. That's what you hire someone like me to do.
Yeah.
But that's where you get that creativity of that, okay, how can I grab people that where they are and show them what I want or get them into my world? Now, I will be clear, you cannot take your competitor's website and say, I want people who have landed on this site and show them my ad. You can't do that. You can't. But if you run Google ads, you can bid on keywords. That's how you do Google. Okay. And you can a keyword that you can bid on is a competitor's name.
Ooh.
So if you're Pepsi and you want to run a Google ad campaign, you can actually pick Coca-Cola or Coke. And if somebody types in Coca-Cola, you may come up because you're bidding on them as well. Just like you bid on your own. People will bid on they'll do a keyword and they'll bid on their own brand. So that even though somebody is searching you already, they'd have to put your name in the search. They already know you. It might be that, maybe they don't remember your website or they're looking for a phone number or whatever. But the reason why you want to do that, not with a ton of your budget, just a little bit, is that you might have competitors out there who are bidding on your name. So you want to outbid them if you can.
I love this. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like when you look for something, though, like the top couple are like, you look up something, a car, and the other car comes up because they're doing it. That makes sense. I didn't know how that works. See, I'm getting all this like behind the scenes stuff here.
I'll tell you the one that does it the most. If you really want to see it happen is, you know how people use like Monday.com, Basecamp, ClickUp. search one of those and you'll see all the competitors come up.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
before they ever do. And it's like, it just makes you laugh. And you almost want to send them a message and say, hey, you need to get your Google person to bid on your name.
I am like reeling from all the nerding out that we're doing, and I love it. I am going to replay this over and over again and learn as I do a deep dive here. Kristina, this was fantastic. I think I've learned so much. I was all trying to sink in. Tell everyone where they can find you, because obviously all of you out there have to come and hire Kristina.
Yeah, you all have to go.
Yeah, all of you need to go to Kristina. She obviously knows what she's doing. So tell everybody how to find you.
Okay, so to find me, the easiest way is my website is www.k, the letter K, Pierce, Pierce, media.com. That's my website. My email is Kristina with a K and an A at the end at kpiercemedia.com. Feel free to email me. Like I said, I offer free discovery calls. So email me. We'll do a discovery call. We'll jump on. I can answer some questions for you. We can talk. Or just email me and ask me a question. Look at this world is way too big. There's tons of us out there. So I'll share anything I can. Look at, I'm an agency owner that started an agency well into my 40s. So the other thing I will give you is that if you're thinking about doing something and you're thinking about building that business, no matter how old you are, just do it. It's fun.
Oh, yes. I love that. Yeah. I mean, we all have lives, and then we still have lots more life. You're right? Like, we have much more things to do in our life.
And if you're on Facebook and you're on Instagram, it is Pierce Media, Pierce, Pierce Media. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook, and I share lots of little tidbits on there. If you see anything fun, I think the best thing I'd ever shared is all about not boosting posts. So there's a little blurb on there about it, and it's one of my peeves as well and if I leave you with anything, don't boost posts. And if you want to know why, talk to me and I'll tell you what to do instead.
I love it. I love the cliffhanger at the end of the episode. That's fantastic. We will put all of this stuff, all of your links and everything into the show notes at reynoldsobm.com. And thank you so much for being here. This was
Thanks
wonderful.
for having me. This was wonderful. I love to talk geek stuff.
And I will see everyone else next week. Thank you so much for joining me this week. If you have an agency or want to create one, come join my Facebook community, Get Your Agency Together, where we talk all the things growing and scaling your agency. For show notes and more info on all the things, head over to reynoldsobm.com. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at ReynoldsOBM. And finally, if you enjoy this podcast, I would love for you to give us a review on iTunes.